Hello, it's Stephen here, back with another video. Hope you've all had a wonderful day so far, and it's the day after Manchester City have played a game, which means one thing: 5 things that we learned from that game. Today I'm going to run through a few observations of Manchester City's 2-0 win over Sheffield United, including Eric Garcia, Raheem Sterling and much more. And I know what you're thinking already: why is he wearing a t-shirt with his own face on it? I didn't order this. This is the culprit. Christmas, Nicola thought it'd be hilarious to get my face on a bunch of things, because why not? She wrapped it all up and I was opening one package at a time, laughing and giggling, thinking this is genuinely a bit sad, but kind of funny at the same time, bless her. It's a logo. She got the PNG and she put it on a mouse mat. It's not 1994 anymore, but it's on a mouse mat. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. She thought it's funny anyway. It's on some stickers, it's on a cup, it's on this, it's on a pen and a notepad. And I did laugh, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I won't wear it outside my flat because it's my face and it's on a t-shirt. But if you want one, by the way, I thought I'd just put it in a link on Teespring in the comments below. If you want to wear my face on your chest for whatever reason, feel free. It'd be nice. Thank you for supporting the channel if you do. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Nicola, for this wonderful Christmas present of my own face. I mean, technically, did I pay for this t-shirt in a way with my own intellectual? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Anyway, let's talk about the game, not this t-shirt. Manchester City won yesterday 2-0. It was a very satisfying game, and of course you can go check out my long form reaction video, which will be on screen right about now. And don't forget as well, if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for loads of Manchester City content going forward. If you are new to this channel, hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about 5 things that we learned from this game. Most notably, I'm going to start with Mr. Eric Garcia. He's good, isn't he? He's a good little footballer. He started yesterday. He was the surprise selection that no one saw coming ahead of that game. Yeah, he started. He got his first full Premier League start after his cameo against Wolves, and he was pretty solid. He was good. He was brilliant. I'm not saying he was like incredible or anything like that, but you would never know that this was an 18-year-old centre-back kind of just playing his first game in the Premier League, first full start, because he was so composed. And more than anything, he really impressed me with his seniority, which is a rare attribute for someone so young. He looked totally at home, kind of bossing those kind of much more senior players around him. At one point, he had Rodri and Fernandinho alongside him in defence, and he was pointing and directing them and telling them where to go, because if anything, he's got more experience in that centre-back role than those 2 guys have got. And he was absolutely fantastic. And his stats as well tell a very pretty picture. 116 touches, 96% pass completion rate, which is 107, 3 clearances, 6 long balls, 6 recoveries, and the second most forward passes on the pitch at 76. He was just solid. He wasn't like perfect, and there are still some minor question marks about his potential for the future, but it was really good to see him just look calm and composed. And given we've got a trend currently of our defenders looking a little bit headless and maybe making some rash decisions, it was nice to see someone who clearly just strolls through the game and doesn't look like at any point they're going to make an absolute howler or do something absolutely brain dead. That's the one thing he has going for him. He's clearly very intelligent. He clearly reads the game exceptionally well, and he knows where to be. The only question marks, understandably, about him are his lack of physicality. He's not particularly big. He's not particularly aggressive to make up for that in terms of like his game. He's not like some Puyol kind of guy, where Puyol was small, but Puyol was also nippy and aggressive. He's not particularly that. He's also not particularly tall, strong, or anything like that. So physically, he's a little bit of a letdown. But what he does have is that desire to win, that natural leadership ability, and that understanding of football that Guardiola possesses. Obviously, technically as well, he's very good. If he can get a little bit stronger and start to learn how to kind of, I guess, mask his weaknesses with his reading of the game, you could have a fantastic player there. All I know is that he's 18 and he's already very useful and clearly more than good enough to be around that squad. We played a very good team yesterday in Sheffield United, and he slotted in as if he'd been there for absolute years. If that was a 24-year-old centre-back player, no one would question his ability as a member of the first-team squad, and that's what we've got already. And a fantastic, solid debut. Not world mind-blowing, but good, and that's all he needed to be. Let's keep him around the squad and see where he's at 22, because if his attitude in general, he could be a fantastic player, and he's ours. Wonderful. Secondly, Raheem needs a break. The guy is tired. He must be tired because his performances are getting sloppier and sloppier. And usually when a player is tired, and when a person is tired, as we all know, you make bad decisions, or you're not quite as effective, or you're not quite as sharp, or your mind's a little bit foggy. And Raheem has more of an excuse than most. Now, I did a little bit of research into this, and I put it on screen right about now. But I thought, has he actually played much more minutes than everyone else? And you can see there, he's played a whopping 2,321 minutes. And in second place, it's Kevin De Bruyne with 1,957. So that works about 5 4 full games more than anyone else in the team. He's had more starts as well, 28, and more match day squad appearances than anyone else with 29. He genuinely has been playing an awful lot of football. I mean, the goal tally of 20 is probably the reason why he's playing a lot of football, but at some point, regardless of how fit and good you are, it's going to start affecting your performances. Now, we all know last season when Leroy Sané was available, if Sterling was starting to show a little bit of lack of form, he would have been on the bench to get a rest here and there. And we definitely saw him at times on the bench last year with Leroy Sané and Mahrez coming in or something like that. But as it is, he seems to be starting every game because of that lack of a winger who can play on the left, which will eventually start to affect his performance. Now, he is still getting in on the goals and that kind of stuff, but he's not the Sterling that we know anywhere near his best. The one we saw at the start of the season where he can run and terrorise teams. As it is, he's become a little bit predictable, and also the fact that he's permanently stationed down on the left, and we haven't really... as a result, we haven't really got the width that we used to. We used to have Sané on the left and Sterling on the right. So even though the fullbacks didn't get forward very well, we had natural width. And as it is, our fullbacks currently aren't overlapping particularly well. So we're not really getting that. It's just, he needs a rest. The guy needs a rest. We need... Foden back. Foden would be nice, actually. Sané back pretty soon. And or if not, just maybe give Foden a game, you know? He can play out wide. Gabriel Jesus can play out wide potentially. Either way, we need to find a way to protect him because he'll get very, very tired. Thirdly, this is a bit of a deep one. We need to find a purpose in the Premier League. Now, this is the first time I can remember in like 10 years that Man City are basically out of the title race at this stage of the season. I went back through all the years and looked at it, and this is by far the furthest we've been behind since 2009, I think, something like that. Yeah, by far the furthest behind then. So basically the league is pretty much done. We've been in the title race, even if we have been a little bit behind, we've been in the title race at this stage of the season every year for 10 years now. So I've forgotten what it feels like to not see City look up and think, we can win the league. So we've got to find a sense of purpose really in this team and think, what can we make of this season? How can we make sure the league isn't just a bit dull and a bit boring? Because we've grown used to watching City lead the league or at least be involved in a title race, and that's a motivator in itself. You usually can just use the energy to push you forward and go win games because you've got something to fight for. And now it's just like top 4, I guess. And that kind of can be a little bit underwhelming. The other way I can think of is maybe use this season as a way to assess the players. Guardiola really has to get them playing against each other and use the league as a way. Obviously, we have to keep winning, and I'm sure we'll keep doing that, but use it as a way to kind of say to the players, this is your chance to get involved in the Champions League team, or maybe in the finals of some domestic cup competitions if we get there. Now, obviously, at no point will we sacrifice the league, but it isn't as crucial, presuming that we stay ahead of in the top 4. And I think we're currently 10 points clear, so we should be fine there. But we've got to find a way to have purpose in the league this season. That's what Guardiola's going to get paid the big bucks to do, because it's hard. As a fan, I realised, I'm not used to this. It's a weird feeling. And even though we've probably been better than some of the seasons 7-8 years ago, obviously Liverpool have been so good that we're just out of the race. So it's kind of a bit of a weird one, really. And we really need to find a way to find that purpose. I think it's noble for me, and hopefully, I think City will be aware of that too. We can maintain that direction. For the Mahrez and De Bruyne partnership is a very promising one, isn't it? Mahrez, I think, has been involved in when he's been on the pitch. I think City won every game this season. Now, I don't think for one second Mahrez has been perfect. I don't think anyone's been perfect in Manchester City's team this year. But Mahrez is clearly a very talented player. And days like yesterday, when he turns up and he works really hard, he's absolutely brilliant. Genuinely a fantastic player. And it was interesting yesterday that he did drift a little bit more central. He was a little bit more controlled. A little bit more in control of the flow of the game in general. And it was a really good use of his skill set. I really like the way he linked up Kevin De Bruyne, and we've seen some very encouraging signs of the two kind of having a really strong understanding on that right side in particular, where they play little 1-2s and they feed each other. And I want to see more of that. I want to see Guardiola really encouraging those two to have the link-up play that we know that they can have, because they're both very technical, very intelligent footballers, and if they get anywhere near on the same wavelength, then we could see something pretty special. And there are signs of it yesterday, obviously with Mahrez feeding Kevin De Bruyne, who got yet another goal and assist. I think that's 12 assists now for De Bruyne. He's chasing down Henry's 20 assist record. Put another goal and another link up with Riyad Mahrez in particular. That is something that we have to really kind of nourish and really help grow, because it's a potentially very exciting partnership. And 5, We're good. We'll be back, I reckon. Now, as I said yesterday in my match reaction, football is a game of fine margins, and we're only maybe a 20-minute solid spell against Wolves away from having 4 good wins in a row against 4 pretty difficult games. You know, going away to Arsenal, I know Arsenal aren't what they once were, but still not easy. Leicester, a very good team. If we'd won that, we did win that, sorry. And then Wolves, if we'd won that, and then Sheffield United, you'd be looking at those 4 games and thinking, that's good, that's solid. And even though yesterday in the first half in particular, we weren't anywhere near our scintillating best, and we weren't really yesterday in the second half either. We were just decent, which is totally acceptable. You've got to consider the context of the game, obviously, that the players were tired, a little bit demoralised, barely any rest whatsoever, and barely no preparation time. But I still saw enough roots to know that the players haven't given up on Guardiola, that they are still there, that they still have that pride and determination to make things right. And I don't doubt that we will be back next season. Who knows what we're going to do this year? Obviously, we're still playing on 3 fronts domestically. I mean, technically, we're still playing on 4 fronts, but you have to be certified in saying if we're going to win the league. But we're still playing on 3 fronts in general in trophies, not domestically, Europe as well, of course. And it could really set us up for next season. Now, we could do something that we've never done before and go really far in the Champions League, or we might not. But I do genuinely believe that these players that haven't given up on Guardiola, that they are still very much in the mindset of wanting to do their very best. But it's just been one of those seasons. I don't really see any signs of unsettlement personally. I don't really believe that the players have given up on Guardiola. I still see the players running, and I still see them battling, and they did battle really hard against Wolves. It's just sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming when your tiredness and your injuries and things don't go your way. It doesn't mean the players are giving up, and I do think there are signs that next season we'll be back and we'll be stronger, hopefully with the right investment. Guys, that's just 5 things that I personally picked out from this game. Let me know what you put for the game, what stood out for you particularly as an individual. Go and check out my long form match reaction, and don't forget, if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please, go and have a lovely day. I'm not sure if I'll see you tomorrow because it's like New Year's, and I'm not sure we'll see you tomorrow on New Year's Day. I don't know. It depends if anything happens, really. I'll be very hungover, though, on New Year's Day. For now, though, subscribe, like, comment, and if you want a t-shirt, go and get yourself one. And I'll see you in a bit.